All right, so let's do this review. So number one, when you are multiplying and bases are the same, you add exponents. So you keep the base b, and then you just add 4 and 3, and you get b is 7. On number two, let's see if we can focus in here a little better. There. So then on number two, again, bases are all the same, and we're multiplying, so we just add the exponents. 5 plus 2 plus 7, excuse me, 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9, so c to the 9th. Okay? On this one, first thing you're going to have to do is deal with this guy right here. You're going to distribute the exponent to the 4 and to the y, and that's going to give you 10x squared y cubed times 16, because 4 squared is 16, y squared. So then we distribute, or not distribute, now we just multiply, and we take the coefficient times the coefficient. So 10 times 16 is 160, and then x times, oh, there's not another x, so it just stays x squared, and then y to the third and y to the second gives you y to the fifth. Okay? Number 4 then, the same kind of thing. We take the negative 2 times what's here would be a 1, right? It was assumed there's a 1 here. So negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2. And then g to the first, g to the third gives us g to the fourth, 3 plus 1. And then h to the 1, h to the 5 is h to the 6th. Okay? Here, we're dividing, so when you divide, you subtract the exponents. So first thing we do is deal with the numbers out in front. So 24 divided by 3 is 8 over 1, right? And then w to the first minus w to the third gives us w to the negative 2. And z to the 7th, z to the 5th, we subtract those, leaves us with z to the 2nd. So when we have a negative exponent, we take the exponent and what it's being the exponent of, its base, I guess you would say, and you move it to the other side of the line. If it was on the bottom, you'd move it up. Since it's on the top, we move it down. So our answer then is 8 and z squared on top, and we have our 1 and w squared there. But we don't have to put the 1 if we don't want to. That's it. Same thing over here. We divide the 6 and the 36 first. Okay, so negative 6 divided by 36 is a negative 1 over 6. Okay, and then 4 minus 7 would be negative 3 here. And then we have b over b2 would be b to the negative 1. And c to the 8th over c to the 1 would be c to the 7th. And again, we have two of them that have negative exponents. So we're going to move them to the bottom. Okay, so we still have a negative 1 and a c to the 7th over a to the 3rd and b to the 1st. So that's your answer. And you could leave that negative 1 off and just make it negative c to the 7th. That would work also. Okay, number 7. Notice this addition sign here in the middle. That means we're just adding this with this. So because we're adding and not multiplying, the variables have to be the same to the same degree in order to add them, and then you just add the coefficients that are in front. So here, we're assuming there's a 1g there. 1g plus 2g is 3g. And then 5 plus 7 is 12. And that's it. That's all you do. Number 8, same thing. Notice this addition sign right here. So we're just adding all these, okay? Okay, so we do have this plus sign here. So we're, again, just putting like terms together. So we have an x squared here, and we have 2x squareds here. That's 3x squared. So those are gone, and those are gone. And then we have negative 3x and a positive 7x gives us a positive 4x. Negative 3 plus negative 2 to the negative 5. And that's it. Okay? Over here, we are subtracting all of this. That means we're subtracting r, we're subtracting 2t. So we can distribute this negative to each one of them. So r minus 2t minus r minus 2t. So r minus r are going to cancel each other. And then negative 2t and a negative 2t give you a negative 4t. And that's your answer. Down here, same kind of thing we got going on. This negative, we're subtracting all of this. So we're going to distribute this. We're going to distribute this negative to each one of these. So I'm just going to rewrite it then. So negative 2f squared minus 3f minus 5. And then minus a minus becomes plus 3f squared. Minus a plus makes it a negative 2f. And minus a minus becomes a plus 3. So now we just find like terms. So 2f squared, 3f squared. Oh, that's a negative 2. Plus 3 leaves me with just 1f squared. Okay, and then those are done. Negative 3f, negative 2f. So negative 5f. And negative 5 plus 3 would be negative 2. On this one, this is kind of a little tricky one because there's an a here and an a squared here. Those are not like terms. They have to have the same exponent for us to be able to add their coefficients. So we're just going to have to leave it x squared plus a, or excuse me, a squared plus a, and then same thing goes with the b. We got a b and we got a b squared. So now what you can do here is you could write it like that, or you could do like that. Either way, I don't care. It's an or thing. Okay. All right, on this one is actually a minus 5 times a minus 5. That's what squared means, right? We're squaring it. So we're multiplying it times itself. So you have to distribute the a to both of them, and then distribute the negative 5 to both of them, and then if there's like terms, combine them. So a times a gives us a squared. A times negative 5 is a negative 5a. And then negative 5 times a gives you another negative 5a. And then negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. So these two are like terms, so we can add them together. A squared minus 10a plus 25. Alrighty, so on here, you're dividing both of these by 2. So you literally just take 10c divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5c. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 5c plus 3. On this one, you're going to take 3y into each of these. Okay? So 15y cubed, and then divided by 3y. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. Y cubed over y would just be y squared because you subtract the exponents. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. Y2 over y1 is y. And then 3y divided by 3y is 1. This one confused a lot of people because of the negative 1 in the exponent at the end. So this right here just means that you're going to take all of this that's in the parentheses and move it to the bottom under there, which means we're ultimately going to divide. So we put 5q to the 4th here, and so now it's not there. Okay, so 5q to the 4th goes into 5q to the 6th. 5 goes into 15 3 times. Q to the 6th over q to the 4th would be, if we subtract, so we're dividing, 6 minus 4 is 2. And then here, 5 will go into 5 one time, right? And then q2 over q4 means we'll have a q to the negative 2 here. Now, we can take this and move it to the bottom of its over here. So if we rewrite this, it gives us, 3q squared plus 1 over q squared. And that would be the correct answer. Now, if you left it in this form, I'd probably give it to you, but take off a half a point or something like that. I'd like to see you move it to the bottom. All right, on this one, it shows that we're dividing by this. So we're literally just going to draw a line and write 3jk here. So 3 will go into 6 2 times. J2 over J1 leaves you with just a J, and then K over K, they cancel. Okay? So that's all you get out of the first term. Then we subtract. 9 divided by 3 is 3. j divided by j cancel, and then k2 over k1 leaves us with just a k. And that's it. All right, this one's very similar to the one on the other page because the -1 is applied to everything inside the parentheses, so it's going to be moved down here. Okay, so 4f squared, and it's going to divide into each of these. Okay, all right, so 4 divided by 4. Sorry, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then f5 over f2 leaves us, because we subtract when we divide, that would leave us with f3. And you could put a 1 there if you want to, but you don't have to. And then here you have -6 divided by 4 is 3 halves. 6 divided by 4 is 3 halves. And then f4 over f2 would just be f2. Okay? And here we have 12 divided by 4 is 3. f3 over f2 is just f. And then -8 divided by 4 is a -2. The f squareds cancel, and you just leave it as f is 2. Okay. Some people like to write this one. You got the f3, and then you would have a minus 3f squared over 2 plus 3f minus 2. Either one of these would be okay. These are exactly the same answer. Okay? All right. Long division, everybody's favorite. So, we're taking this number and dividing it by this. So, n squared plus 7n plus 10, and we are dividing that by n minus 5. So you look at the first number here. N times what's going to give you n squared? Another n, right? Because n times n would give me n squared. But then I also have to take it times this 5. So n times -5 is -5n. Okay? So once you've done that, now you subtract. N squared minus n squared is our 0, which is what we want. And then 7 minus a minus 5. Minus a minus would make that positive 12n. Okay? So then n times what gives me 12n? That would of course be 12. So 12 times n is 12n. And 12 times a -5 is a -60. And I forgot to bring my 10 down. You got to bring the 10 down, so plus 10 here. Okay? So, again, 12 times -5 is -60. So when I subtract these, 12 minus 12, I get 0. And then 10 minus a -60 becomes a remainder of 70. So n plus 12, and then plus, because it's a positive, plus 70 over n minus 5. I noticed a bunch of people on your homework didn't put a sign between your answer and the remainder. You need to put whether it's positive or negative. Okay. Another long division. We have 2t squared plus 13t plus 15. And we are dividing that by t plus 5. So, t times 2t would give me 2t squared. And then 2t times positive 5 would be a positive 10t. And now we subtract. 2t squared minus 2t squared, 0. 13t minus 10t is 3t. And we bring down our 15. And then I'm going to add 3 here, because 3 times t gives me 3t. And 3 times 5 is 15. That worked out nicely. So when I subtract, it gives me a 0 there and a 0 there. So there's no remainder, so it's just 2t plus 3. Okay? All right, last two. Synthetic division. You need to be careful, because if it goes 4g squared and then there's no g without an exponent, you need to put a 0 there. So it's 4, I'm going to rewrite it, 4g squared plus 0g minus 9. And all that's being divided by g plus 3. Okay? So on synthetic, you just pick out the coefficients. So 4, 0, -9, and we are dividing that by the opposite of this number right here. So it's basically, what are you going to put in here to make this 0? It'd be -3. So we're dividing by -3. Okay? Or that's the number you're putting over here. You bring down the 4, right here, and you take negative 3 times 4, you get negative 12, you put it right there, negative 12, and then you add. So 0 plus negative 12 is a negative 12, and negative 3 times negative 12 is a positive 36. And again, we're going to add. So when we add 36 and a negative 9, we get a positive 27 left over. So if this up here was g squared, this is just going to be g. So it's 4g minus 12 and then plus 27 over g plus 3. Okay? Last one. So 4, 3, oh, there's not a 2, so we need to add a 0, 2 squared there. So we have 3, and then 6, and then 0, 2, and 4, and they're all positive. And we are dividing by, in this case, we're going to use a negative 2. Okay? Bring down the 3. So negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. And we add these together. 6 plus a negative 6 is 0. So negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. And again, negative 2 times 0 is 0. Add, sorry. 2 plus 0 is 2. Negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4. We add those together, we get a remainder of 0. So that's nice. So again, up here, our first term, our biggest term, our leading coefficient, or our leading coefficient is 3, but our degree is 4. So this degree is going to be 1 less than that, which is cubed. But then we have 0c squared plus d squared, or plus c squared, oh, for the love, 3c cubed, 0c squared, 0c, and then plus 2. So you don't have to put those zeros in your answer, okay? And then the remainder is 0, so you don't have to write anything over here either. It's just 3c cubed plus 2. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.